name is Dan Chung, and I'm Executive Director of Crossing Borders. Our mission is to show the compassion of Christ to North Koreans and their children. And since 2003, we have been fulfilling this mission in China. Crossing Borders is in an exciting season as we expand our mission and ministry to help North Koreans in South Korea. I want to take you through a broad overview of our current work and look at what we will be doing through our new project, Elim House. So first, what is Elim House and why is it necessary? Elim House will be a temporary home for abused North Korean women and their families. It will also be a temporary housing solution for newly arrived North Koreans. The goal of Elim House is simple: to provide comfort and support to North Korean women and families in distress.
여기서 살아보니까 지금 산지 6년 넘었는데 살아보니까 학교도 다니고 살아봤는데 지금 저는 결혼해서 살면서도 가끔 싸우거나 그러면 좀 어디 갈 데가 없어서 좀 기껏 나가봤자 슈퍼밖에 못 가더라고요. 그러니까 그런 것도 좀 필요하고 제 주변에 아는 언니들도 결혼하고 남편이 집 오든 집에서 살다가 이혼하게 되니까 집이 없어서 친구 집이랑 떠돌아다니더라고요. 그래서 확실히 여기서도 아무래도 경쟁 사회다 보니까 한꺼번에 집을 얻고 들어가기가 어려워서 그런 쉼터 같은 게 만들어지면 많이 유용하고 좋을 것 같아요. 시간에서 있는 거는 노인들을 많이 케어하는데 청년들이나 이 애기 엄마들 같은 거는 케어하는 게 잘 없어요. 그게 현실인 것 같아요.
탈북한 거는 2006년도에 2006년도에 내가 10월 달에 중국에 넘어갔거든요. 한국에 19년도 1월 달에 이제 중국에서 떠났어요. 차별을 받아도 한국에 오니까 뭐가 뭔지 하나도 모르겠어. 조선불이라고 읽을지는 아는데 영어 글로 다 번역해서 썼으니까 이게 무엇인지 뭐인지 아무것도 모르겠어. 그리고 핸드폰 무시나 계속 모르는 메시지가 오는데 무슨 말인지 하나도 알고 진짜 그거 제일 연결하는 거. 고민 끓입니다. 그래 대체로 건물이 탈북민들이랑 친척도 없지 아무것도 없잖아요. 그러니까 그 한국에 와서 뭐 누군지는 돈 받을 데도 없잖아요. 그런데 이런 환경 속에서 살 일이 막막하고 이러면서 스트레스 받는 아들이 어떤 아들은 진짜 우리 딸도 말하는 게 우리 딸들이랑 같이 어나든 자살해 죽은 아들도 있다는 거. 엄청 많대요 한국에 자살해 죽은 아들이. 우리 딸이 말하는데 간이 인물도 곱게 생기고 너무 이뻐서 그래 했는데 와서 살자 하니까 자기 능력으로는 살 능력이 아마 중국에서는 어떻게 사는지 모르는데 자살해 죽었대요. 와서 능력으로 자기네 힘으로 살고 집에 들어가니까 그 집에 들어가니까 돈 안 주지 살 건 없지 하니까 아가씨라고 산단 말이야. 아가씨라고. 그 다음에 그걸 협장 치고 막 이렇게 이래서
North Korean defectors in South Korea carry the weight of their past wherever they go. Though they have reached freedom, they are often shackled by the trauma they experienced on their way there. Let me talk to you about their journey in 3 steps. In our first step, let me explain to you that life is and has been bad in North Korea for quite some time. North Koreans have very little freedoms. If someone perceives you to be against the government, you can be sent to a concentration camp indefinitely. There are a myriad of stories you can read on our website detailing the horrors of life in North Korea through the Great North Korean Famine and beyond. And though the famine is over, food shortages persist. Life is hard for these people, and this is why they want to leave. And this brings me to the second step, China. Most North Koreans flee their country by walking into China. Though they are fleeing a certain set of challenges back home, others await them in China. North Koreans have no human rights there. In fact, it is legal to murder a North Korean refugee in China. This has resulted in a human rights crisis, the mass sale of North Korean women. The overwhelming majority of North Korean refugees crossing borders helps are women who have been trafficked. You see, many North Koreans use China as a thoroughfare en route to freedom. The modern-day Underground Railroad stretches from the border of North Korea and takes refugees through China into Southeast Asia, where they will receive refugee status. And this brings me to our third step, South Korea. As we have tracked many of our refugees as they have sought freedom, we have seen a disturbing trend. We've learned that even if North Koreans are politically free, they are still shackled by years and years of trauma from time spent in North Korea and in China. These scars are deep. They don't just go away because they have reached freedom through the Underground Railroad. Sometimes their scars are even more exposed in freedom. 71% of North Korean refugees in South Korea say that they have experienced a traumatic event either in North Korea or in China. And 80% of North Korean defectors in South Korea are women. We found the two biggest problems for this population are domestic abuse and prostitution. This is why we decided to start Elim House, to help these women in need. In 2019, we decided to take our first steps towards opening Elim House in South Korea. Towards the end of the year, we started to make meaningful steps to start an officially licensed entity in South Korea and be fully operational by 2020. But then the pandemic hit, and our carefully manicured plans began to fray. Our initial start date for Elim House was April 1 of this year. But when the pandemic became a threat everywhere, we decided to put everything on hold. During this time, we did about the only thing we could do, which is pray, and God blessed us during this time. We were able to send our missionaries to South Korea in May, and though new laws and slowdowns due to the coronavirus have slowed our progress, we find ourselves in a place where we can actually start. And by God's grace and your help, we are able to open Elim House in July of 2020. So let's take a look at Elim House. This is the first step in our long-term plans for crossing borders. We imagine opening several Elim Houses around the country as we have assessed a great need there. Your donations not only go to cover housing, but to the staff and for the services we will provide here. Thank you for your support and care. We are so excited to share with you stories of God's redemption for the North Korean defectors that we will be ministering to through Elim House. Our prayer and hope is for God to use Elim House to reach many who are hurting and in need of His love, rest, and redemption. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at contact@crossingbordersnk.org. God bless.